ago in the international game. Tom was a 2000 Olympian, returned to Stanford, and is the most complete player in the college game.
Logan has help, however. Freshman sensation Okananamani is in the lineup at one of the outside hitters, along with Ashley Ivy as opposite. Of course, Logan is there. Sarah McGee, Tara Conrad, two studs in the middle. The question mark might be Robin Lewis. She's had an up-and-down year, bothered by knee injuries, but she is there and she is good.
And for Stanford, John Dunning is in his rookie season on the farm after 16 years and 2 national championships at Pacific. Dunning won in his first year at UOP in '85. Everybody wondering if history will repeat itself this year. Gracially
Sapera, the National Player of the Year in 2000, just made second-team All-America this year. We'll detail why when we can. And what matchups there are. Big, tall women hitting and blocking, ready to go at it. Stanford wearing the maroon uniforms and Nebraska in white, trimmed in red, and we're underway. Serving it up, Anna Schrod. And right off the bat, they set it over Logan Tom. Can the Huskers block Tom? That will be a question. And the put away by Laura Pilikowski, 6'1" junior from Columbus, Nebraska. Last year, a first-team All-America. This year didn't make anything. A slow year for her.
And she is critical in this match. Nebraska, for the last 2 years, has been the best blocking team. Today, they need to be the best offensive team at the net.
Shank pass. Sapero hits it straight down on her side of the net. So Sapero, she's from Puerto Rico, 6'2" junior. She's 6'2", but on a poofy hair day like today, she's about 6'7". She's got the bouffant working. 1-1, game one. Nice set. Stanford can block. Sapero can jam. She back sets and putting the ball away. Amber Holmquist, a junior from Houston who's 6'4".
And already John Cook getting the matchup he wanted. He wanted to get Graciously Sapero, the blocking setter, on Logan Tom. That puts Nancy Metcalf, the 3-time All-American, on the freshman Ogunanamani.
Amy Sibernson is in out of Omaha. Great serve, and she's got the ace. Sibernson, she's been the serving specialist in the last 13 matches. Before that, she didn't play much.
Watch how much movement is on this ball. That ball is going deep. Somebody needs to help out with the communication.
3-1 our score. Sibernson continues to serve. Working it deep. Robin Lewis into the middle and the put away by Tara Conrad from Torrance, California. Stanford's top blocker. Pretty good hitter, too. So set to serve is Logan Tom, 6'1" junior out of Salt Lake City. Already played in the Olympics. Is that unbelievable? Sapero tips. Stanford on top of it. Lewis, quick set. Conrad is blocked. Out of the back line. Here comes Metcalf. Sapero swings and scores.
Nancy Metcalf, what an amazing story. Was an All-American 2 years ago and then decided to redshirt. Said she was burned out on volleyball. Spent 2 years straight without a break. Actually sat out in Nebraska's undefeated championship run a year ago.
I think a lot of pressure on here to perform. Sapero's serve goes long. And Stanford will get the ball. Checking into the front line is Sarah McGee. McGee is 6'3" sophomore from Davis, California. Now Tara Conrad to serve it up. Tara from Torrance, California. She's got a good one. Whips it into the corner. Pretty good play there by Parks. And Stanford has a rejection.
A huge play by Ashley Ivy. When you look at the matchup, a lot of people say that Nebraska has the advantage on the right side, but Ashley Ivy can be that X factor.
Ace serve. So Conrad ripping it up. That's her 18th ace this year, and she gives Stanford its first lead. 5-4, game one. Passes over the net, look out below, and that's going to be a lift. Our first referee in this one is Mary Holly Blaylock. Blaylock is up. Hannah Martin is underneath. Mary Holly Blaylock, first referee. She's off to a good start. Now, Laura Pilikowski will serve. Pretty good pass by Stanford. Lewis back set. Sapero pops it up. Scoop right side. Here comes Metcalf. And that was a good block by Namani. And Namani over the top. She's a freshman from Normal, Illinois, the #1 high school recruit in the country last year.
And boy, is she athletic. I talked to John Dunning yesterday about her, and he said, you know, in big matches, I look at her and I think she looks nervous, and then I'll go ask Logan Tom, is Nemani nervous? And she goes, no, she just looks it, and she's sure enough comes to play.
Down the line, it appeared that Sarah Sandrick may have taken an out ball. There might have been a touch, however. And checking in now is Lindsay Wishmeyer. Wishmeyer, a junior from Burchard, Nebraska. Nemani racking up some honors early in her career. 6-6 game 1. Service coming over. Hit. Metcalf. Jump into the middle. Nemani with a dig. Lewis out of the back line. Here comes Logan. Is Doug. Nebraska takes a rip. Lewis, back set. See ya.
What Stanford does so well is they stay in system, even in the long rallies, even in transition. They make it look so effortless. This is just textbook volleyball, a free ball play, running the slide behind, and Robin Lewis looking very composed early in this match.
Sapero goes and gets it. And Metcalf is Doug. They're doing a good job on Metcalf so far. Logan Tom off the block, out of bounds. First kill for Logan Tom. The 1998 high school player of the year. Stanford knows how to recruit, don't they? Now, Nemani will serve. And it's going long. Game 1, 8-7. Stanford with the lead.
Metcalf was one of the toughest jumpers, and that's where Nebraska needs to beat Stanford. Stanford's got 3 jump servers. Metcalf really the only solid jumper for Nebraska.
That's a good one. Michelle Chambers with the bump set. Tom keeps it in. Free ball, Nebraska. Sapero back set. Holmquist, yeah. Amber Holmquist, the Big 12 blocking champion, takes a rip.
This is where Nebraska has the advantage matchup-wise. I think they've got the toughest middle blocker combo in Amber Holmquist and Jenny Kropp, hitting such efficient numbers. When they get the ball, they put it away.
9-8 now. Stanford goes back on top. Stanford changing on the fly. Stanford will bring in Emily Lawrence, a senior from Westland, Oregon. She will serve it. Back in the front line is Conrad. Stanford ranked 3rd in the nation, 31-2, 17-1 in the Pac-10. Losses to Long Beach State and USC. That's it. Nice pass. Sapero. And down the line, ball dug. Ashley Ivy got it up. Free ball. Both teams appear a little tight here. Long rally would favor who? Heather Cox.
You know, I'd give it to Stanford right now just because of the way they're playing solid defense at the beginning of this match.
And it's a point for Stanford.
They're looking a little bit more relaxed. On paper, Stanford the better team right now. They're playing. John Dunning has an amazing ability to get his team to play its best volleyball in December. On paper, Nebraska not playing its best volleyball right now.
Sapero tries to jam, and Tom stuffs her. Logan Tom, one of the great left side blockers in America.
Watch the technique. It looks like a lot like the international men's game. There's a swinging motion that you rarely see in the women's game from Tom.
Wishmeyer with the serve. Stanford has its biggest bulge of 3. Nice up in the backcourt. Lewis with the set. Tipping long was Schrod. Perfect pass. Set left. And off the hands goes Schrod. Point for the Huskers.
Anna Schrod in just her first year as a starter, but got valuable playing time a year ago in their championship run. Just goes off the outside hand of Robin Lewis. Lewis needs to close that right hand into the court.
Schrod, a sophomore from Lincoln, Nebraska. Here comes Logan Tom, and she heats it up. So Holmquist and Sapero were there, and Logan tears that block apart right through the hole.
You know, John Dunning has coached many Olympians, players like Elena Oden, national team players like Terry McGrath, and he said of Logan, he's not sure he's ever come across a player who's more complete at this age.
There's a blast by Laura Pilikowski. Pilikowski had a team best 23 kills in the title match. And as you said, Heather, she has to go off in this match for them to have
well,
a chance.
I think she's got the ability, she's got the experience, she's got the maturity, she's got the right personality to explode in pressure matches.
Sibrinson is in. She had an ace first time around. Right down. That's a shank pass. Lewis bumps it left. Tom snaps it through. And Logan Tom gets the kill. 3 kills for Tom. Logan Tom and Cheryl Weaver battling for the AVCA Player of the Year. Cheryl Weaver looking very impressive in the win a little bit earlier today. That was over Arizona. That's a point for the Nebraska Huskers. If you're not familiar with the new scoring system, first time ever for an NCAA Women's Volleyball Championship. Rally scoring, first 4 games are to 30. 5th game, final game, if necessary, is to 15. 13-11, Cardinal by a couple. Lewis back set, little tip, easy play for Parks. And Metcalf. Metcalf, how many kills?
Just the first one.
How many kills does Metcalf need today?
More than that.
Well, I know more than one.
They're not giving her enough swings. They've got to go to her. I think Metcalf needs to average 6 to 7 kills per game for Nebraska to beat Stanford.
So she's got to be in the 20s somewhere leading the road.
She's got to hit high numbers. I'd like to see her hit over 300.
Part of the strategy for John Cook is to serve Namani. Now, Namani is an okay receiver, but she's played much better when she's been out of the serve-receive pattern.
Well, what they can do, they don't need her to be a ball control specialist. So if she's struggling with the pass, they can take her right out of serve-receive rotation.
That was pretty hard when she's in the left front. Where do you station her?
Pull her up to the net.
Pull her up to the net.
Just take her right out of it.
Well, Nebraska making hay, and there she goes. Now, Namani is backing up. So instead of bringing her to the net, they move her back into the left. Let's see if Sapero can get the ball down the line. That's where they're going to go, apparently. Or maybe deep corner. Let's see.
The other advantage to serving Namani, even if she gets a good pass, she's taken a little bit out of the offense.
3 players up on Conrad. Namani's mad. She takes a whip at it. Sapero back set. Here comes Metcalf. And Metcalf with the drive. So Nebraska doing it in this one rotation. Gracia Leap, Sapero serving, and the other Huskers hitting and blocking. Game 1, Nancy Metcalf unloads as Nebraska leads Stanford 15-13.
Sunday at 3, catch Michael Jordan and the Wizards as they head north of the border to take on the Raptors live from Toronto. It's fast-breaking NBA action. Check it out on CN8.
What did I think of the game? I'll let you know.
It's the Ethel Ford Brian Billick Report. Mondays on BWI Spotlight. Exclusively on Comcast Sportsnet.
Don't you deserve to know the true story?
I worked for him, and I had to quit because he was having an affair with the secretary.
That's the one I see here, wavy hair, right?
Long, wavy hair, yes.
There she is. I had just turned the card when you were talking, and I saw her. You were afraid the police were going to get called on him.
I sure was.
He has an old rap sheet, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, Miss Cleo, you hit it on the head.
Call me for your free reading now.
Call 1-800-370-8643.
Set it up at the 2002 NCAA Division I Women's Volleyball Championship hosted by the University of New Orleans. The slamming action takes place December 19th and 21st at New Orleans Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana. Dig out your tickets by calling 504-587-3804 or log on to ncaavolleyball.net.
The sideline season winds down for Chuck, Delatorre, Mickey, and Ferris. To us, it's college football, but to the Aggies, it's a way of life. Sidelines, Thursday nights at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific on ESPN.
Back at the Cox Arena, a big house tonight as Nebraska leads Stanford 15-13 in game 1. Along with Heather Cox, I'm Chris Marlowe. Logan Tom has 3 kills, but Nebraska is on a 6-1 scoring run. Keeper Nebraska stopping Logan. How do they do it?
Well, if anybody can do it, I think it's Nebraska. Nebraska for the last 2 years has been the best blocking team in the country. But to go against that, Stanford has the best 1-2 punch on the outside with Agana Nomani and Logan Tom. But if anybody can stop those 2 on the outside, it's Nebraska. But they've got to put big blocks up. They average 4 per game. They're not getting it done yet.
Nebraska, 6 out of the last 7 points. And you look, almost 4 1/4 blocks per game, the best in the NCAA. And they have 3 so far. Stanford in maroon. And Nebraska in white.
And a good timeout by John Dunning to just take graciously Shapiro out of that serving rut and also give the freshman, Agana Nomani, a little bit of a break from receiving all those serves.
There'll be a lot of pressure on Nomani today. Going around the horn, nice shot by Jenny Crock, 6'2" senior from Grand Island, Nebraska. She gives Stanford once again a 2-point lead, rolling up her sleeves for hitting and blocking duty. 16-14 now. And Nebraska piling up the points in the last 2 rotations. They were down 13-11, but making some hay. Serving is Pilikowski. She serves it long. Serving error and rally scoring costs you a point these days, so you have to be careful. Jump server on the way. It's Ashley Ivy. Pretty good pass. Shapiro. And the ball spiked out down the line. Looking for the hands with Schrad. And it's been a game of runs so far. Now Stanford back on its scoring run, tying it at 16. Here comes Ivy from Arlington, Texas. Good serve. That's going to be a point. And putting it away was Sarah McGee. But making it happen, Ashley Ivy wants to be an orthopedic surgeon one day. And she is ripping up the Huskers right down the middle right now. Knuckleball. Shapiro back set. Metcalf. Now, one thing you'll notice about number 1 in white, Grace Shapiro, she's the player of the year. She's a fantastic player, but she's not a great setter in terms of dishing the ball. She has to get in position. She's a little more mechanical.
Well, she's so athletic. She makes the absolutely remarkable play, but the easy ones don't look as pretty as a true setter, like somebody like Carrie Nishimoto out of Long Beach.
National Player of the Year, but only 2nd team All-America this year. Here comes Shapiro. And over the top, Schrad out of bounds.
And Chris, a big reason why Grace Shapiro, in my mind, didn't make first-team All-American this year, she chose to play basketball for Nebraska last year. She was a starter, an integral member of that team, a 2-sport athlete, and I think she was just gassed. I think it took her until midway through this season till she got her legs underneath her.
John Cook saying that he agreed with the 2nd-team All-American. She wasn't sharp early. Pilikowski and gets the rip. So Laura Pilikowski whacking early. Now make that was Schrad. Schrad with 3 kills. Nebraska outside hitters a key in this match?
Absolutely. They need to put up efficient numbers. I think they have to, as a duo, average over 275 because you know that Stanford's outside are going to get that.
Nebraska.
There's a reason they're the top blocking team in the nation, averaging 4.2 blocks per game. Such a huge advantage to have a 6'2" setter blocking on the right side.
Well, that's a big block. That's as big a block in college volleyball, except for Weaver and Hanif. Holmquist, they joust, and socking it out of bounds. Nice play for Robin Lewis. Lewis is a senior from Long Beach, California, redshirted last year because of a shoulder injury, has arthritic knees, and the starting setter a couple of years ago. She's battled back. She is physically a wreck, but she is hanging in, and she is a good player.
Well, my favorite Robin Lewis story is that right before the beginning of the season, John Dunning asked Robin, what can I expect out of you? She'd redshirted for a year, battling those bad knees, and Robin said, John, I honestly don't know if I can play one play this year. I'm going to go day to day and see what I can do, and they have managed her knees well, and she's gone through the season. 2019
Stanford. Shapiro back set. Holmquist got it. Nice shot by Amber Holmquist. Holmquist off to a good start. 3 kills, no errors, hitting .500. So now Pilikowski will go back to serve. There is Holmquist, 3rd leading blocker in the United States. 20-20 is our score. Shot with the serve. And hitting across court, that's out. Well, Logan Tom misses. Tom so far 3 kills and 2 errors. And Stanford calls a timeout. Now we're coming back to the Cox Arena on the campus of San Diego State. The defending national champion Nebraska Huskers leading Stanford 21-20.
Yay!
Okay.
And wonderful.
Like doing things the easy way? Then come to Best Buy, where you'll find great gifts for everyone on your list. And that's not just easy, it's fun. Best Buy. This holiday, turn on the fun.
If you want great body to last, you need the right physique. Not that kind of physique. Physique's 20-hour volumizing collection of shampoo, conditioner, and styling products. With Physique, get 20 hours of unstoppable volume and body. Yeah, that kind of body. Physique's 20-hour volumizing collection. Give your hair the physique it needs.
Ooh.
Nice shot. Buffalo wing, $1 each.
A buck a wing? Ooh, how much for the whole buffalo?
You know something better for $1?
How about a 20-minute phone call?
Really?
Sure, dial 10-10-220 and all calls up to 20 minutes, 99 cents.
7 cents a minute after 20.
10-10-220 is cheap. Hey, the wings are on me.
Hey, man, quit blocking the plate.
Sorry, dude, it's my job.
Hey,
dial 10-10-220. You practice
hey, man, you're big leaguing me now.
For everyone.
Today's NCAA Women's Volleyball National Semifinal is brought to you by Best Buy. For the latest technology, turn on the fun at Best Buy. And by Physique. For free samples and more, visit Physique.com. And by Spalding, official ball for NCAA Volleyball Championship. Along with former Pacific star Heather Cox, I'm Chris Marlowe. Welcome back to the Cox Arena, Nebraska, leading a tightly contested game 1, 21-20. Set to serve is Anna Schrod, one of the new starters in the Husker lineup, replaced Kim Behrens, who was on the outside. Schrod and Behrens really splitting time last year. Huskers trying to block Logan Tom. Instead, a back set to Conrad. And Conrad puts it away. Conrad, a 6'3" senior from Torrance, California. 3 kills for her disappointing junior year. Has played much better this year, Heather.
Well, I think she's just exploded. She's got a lot more confidence, and you can see it the way that she attacks at the net. Not as many dinks and roll shots.
Sapero back set to Holmquist. Stanford has it up. They set Logan Tom. Tom blasts it. Nice dig by Schrod, and that's outside the antenna. So Stanford will get the ball back. 22-21. How important is game 1? Well, in NCAA tournament history, the team that wins game 1 wins 87% of the matches. Nebraska, Holmquist, Lewis with the dig. Here comes Logan. And there it goes. Logan Tom, she's hit against the Russians. She's hit against the Cubans. And now she is whacking away against the Huskers.
But I think Stanford needs to be careful. They don't want to become one-dimensional. Yes, Logan's going to get the majority of the swings for her team, but she needs some support so they don't become predictable. Obviously, Sapero and Holmquist know that she's the primary outlet, but the more help she can get, the higher her efficiency numbers will be.
Logan Tom. Remember the 2000 Olympic team? Toshi Yoshida hoping that she'll be on the team in 2004. And a little earlier, we talked to John Dunning about his big star. This is what he had to say.
I've never run across anybody in college that had the awareness and understanding feel for the court of where to put the ball, where the ball's going to go. Just uncanny. I mean, I don't know if I've seen anybody like her.
You know, I would agree with John. I had a chance to watch Logan play in the Volley Masters 2000 in Montreux, Switzerland with the national team, and she's the exact same player with them that she is here. You know, against the Russians, against the Cubans, against the Brazilians, the top players in the world. She hits with the same type of efficiency, the same type of power, not at all intimidated.
Logan Tom, one of the great players in the United States. In her first NCAA title match, however, had one of the worst matches of her career in that particular match, as Penn State able to take down the Cardinal. So Logan figures to be a big factor in this one. 23-21. Boy, Stanford's defense has been airtight so far. Sapero sets left. Pilikowski down the line. Got it. Laura Pilikowski from Columbus, Nebraska. 3 kills for her. 23-22. How important is game one to you, knowing that the team that wins it wins 87% of the time?
Well, I think it's huge when you look at it on paper, but the players certainly don't care about that stat. I mean, as a player, you can be down, you know, 2-0 and still know that you have the ability to come back.
Ace serve. Sibernson, that's number 2 for her. The pride of Marion High School in Nebraska. 1999, her team went 44-1. I know because I looked it up in the media guide.
Oh, you're plugged in, Marlo.
Sibernson with the serve. And Nebraska stops. The Huskers regain the lead, 24-23. Six lead changes. Nebraska has 3 stuff blocks. They average almost 4.5. Lewis sets left. Here comes Logan, and Logan goes over the top. Logan with great jumping ability. She's got that hanging jumper where she just fires it through.
She's got so much power in that shoulder because she hangs and she drops. It gives you a lot more power than if you're hitting really high.
Logan jump serve coming. One of the most lethal in college volleyball. Out of bounds. Point, Huskers.
And this is the rotation that Nebraska went on that 7-2 scoring run. Gracially Sapero at the service line. They've got the best blocking threesome at the net.
So Sapero, who scored a lot of points. Let's see if she goes back to Namani. No, they set the serve the middle front. Lewis back set, nobody there. Ivy hit it out. Now, Ivy has been hot and cold this year. She can be erratic, Heather. Got a lot of errors, puts a lot of balls down.
And I think they need it. There's a lot of people that disagree, that they think they can go to Logan Tom 90% of the time. But I think they need distribution, pin to pin. Need players like Ivy and Conrad to step up.
Short serve once again to Logan. Conrad blocked. Out of the back line. Logan is stuffed. Jenny Kropp was there. Timeout, Stanford. Game one, a doozy. Husker fans cheering on the relentless block of Nebraska.
I want to tell you all a story about a Harper Valley widowed wife.
Do you remember when country songs told a story?
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican.
All those great tales.
I was born in Saginaw, Michigan. I grew up.
Time Life Music proudly presents the Great Story Songs collection.
In 1814, we took a little trip along with Colonel Jackson down the mighty Mississippi. We took a little
from the Battle of New Orleans to a battle of 2 fiddle players.
The devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind because he was way behind. He was willing to
30 hits, including the all-time Truckers classic.
It was the dark of the moon on the 6th of June in a Kenworth pulling logs.
Get great story songs on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes.
North to Alaska, go north, the rush is on.
Johnny Horton, Bobby Bear, Marty Robbins, Johnny Cash.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to Ma.
From a boy named Sue to a man named John.
He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. And everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John.
How old was I when I first seen old Rivers? I can't
But
remember.
this special collection is not in stores.
Fighting soldiers from the sky.
So please call now.
Fearless men who jump and die.
To order great story songs, call 1-800-806-2552 or send $24.99 for 2 CDs or 2 cassettes plus $4.99 shipping to Great Story Songs, Department 3, Richmond, Virginia, 23280. Call 1-800-806-2552 or order online at timelife.com.
Game 1, national semifinal number 2, Nebraska leading Stanford 27-24. Tickets for the 2002 Women's National Semifinals and Championship in New Orleans are now available. You can get them by calling 504-525-5678. Want to get a good seat? Call now or log on NCAAchampionships.com. What a scene here at the Cox Arena in San Diego, California. We're playing on Sport Court tonight, the volleyball floor of the future. Clad in scarlet and black, San Diego State Aztec colors. Namani hits the ball out. Mark Warner getting his San Diego State Aztecs into the NCAA tournament this year, having a good season, and Namani is struggling at the moment.
Well, and it's all because of Nebraska's block. They've got 4 blocks already, but even when they're not blocking, they're forcing Stanford to change their attack pattern because Stanford intimidated by the Nebraska block.
Stanford stuck with their star in the back line. Sapero into the middle, and waiting was Tara Conrad. Oh, she saw that. She blossomed in October, was struggling a little bit last year. Got her act together, and now she's a star.
Good recognition, sees the ball, sees the header, then the setter, then immediately picks up on the hitter's shoulder.
Big jump serve. Sapero goes and gets it. That's the advantage of having a tall woman as your setter. Over to Metcalf. Metcalf tips it and scores. Wow. Metcalf got a break. A little confusion for Stanford. Checking in is Sarah Sandrick, and Husker fans are up. Nebraska will have 4 game points. Bilikowski serves. Stanford in trouble. Namani, free ball. Metcalf tries to tippy. McGee got a piece of it. Namani. And Namani. Last run 3. Oguna Namani. 2 kills for her.
That was a huge swing for the freshman. Changes the confidence level.
29-26, second. Game point for the win. Over the top. Was there a touch? No, there wasn't. And John Cook, he'll take time out. Now Nebraska with 4 game points. 2 of them gone down the drain. And Stanford hanging in there. John Cook, Stacy Wolf, Craig Skinner, Kim Behrens, the coaching staff. And for John Dunning, it's Denise Corlett and Kim Oden, 2 outstanding staffs.
You know, you talk about Nebraska and the fact that they're trying to defend that 2000 title. I'll never forget Brian Gimmolero, the head coach for Long Beach State in 1999, said the hardest thing in sport is to defend a championship. That's what he was trying to do in 99. And, you know, John Cook knew that going in at the beginning of the season. In fact, he took a video of the 2000 National Championship trophy to video and put it up in flames and said, hey, we don't want to try and defend it or protect it. And that's exactly what Brian Gimmolero's philosophy was in 99. He said it's way too much pressure to try and defend that title. You got to let it go.
Brian Gimmolero and his wife, Danya, the NCAA Women's Volleyball National Championship match. We'll show you that tomorrow live on ESPN2, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Long Beach State takes on either Stanford or Nebraska. Volleyball fans, you want live volleyball? Here's your chance. Watch tomorrow on ESPN2. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox, and now Nebraska. You can bet that John Cook is called to play. Now the question is, who does he set? We shall see. Both teams hitting anemically. Ivy with the serve.
They go to Metcalf for sure.
And the slam dunk. Sarah McGee. And now a chance to tie it up. Remember, you have to win by 2, and Sapero They go to a three-person serve receive. Ivy, can she get it in? She does. For the win right here. Out of the back line, it's Metcalf. Doug, Logan Tom, Namani to tie. She tips for the win. Metcalf off the top. You got to set Namani again, don't they? Namani straight down the hatch.
Talk about pressure, backs against the wall. Ashley Ivy going with the jumper. A miss, and this game is over. Namani and Aaron, it's over. Look at Stanford, 4-0 run.
Trouble. Sapero blocks. And Stanford gets another point. John Dunning's team has scored 5 in a row. Both coaches out of timeouts. Nebraska falling apart here. Ashley Ivy putting on the heat. Nebraska, this is game point for Stanford. Lewis tries to jam it. Namani is down. Logan Tom for the win. Not yet. Nice dig by Parks. Metcalf tries to put it away. Can't. Lewis sets left. Namani! And Stanford wins game 1. They face 4 game points and score 6 in a row. And John Dunning, he won it, but even he can't believe it. Stanford fighting back. Ogana Namani heating it up. John Dunning's team leads it 1 game to none.
Hey, looking great.
The Conair Rechargeable Beard and Mustache Trimmer. Moves in close, trims any style with laser precision. The Beard and Mustache Trimmer. And to create any great haircut, the Conair 17-piece haircutting kit.
Now through Sunday at Zales, take up to an extra $300 off with bonus dollar savings on all diamonds. Like this $19.99 8-carat diamond bracelet, now just $16.99. At Zales, the diamond store.
You're quitting? You are my hero. Oh, why Nicoderm CQ?
Well, I'm not a superhero.
Yes, you are. I never got how these things work.
Okay, you just wake up, but one off.
Just one.
That's what's cool. One lasts 24 hours.
So, what are we waiting for?
Helps calm cravings all day long.
And the steps?
You step down gradually, so you're free.
You're not a superhero? You don't have to be. You've got Nicoderm CQ.
Sports fans, the 2002 ESPN Information Please Sports Almanac has arrived. The most complete stats and information, including the 2001 World Series and hundreds of photos from the year in sports. Contributions from Chris Berman, Dan Patrick, Linda Cohn, Stuart Scott, and Rich Eisen. Packed with highlights and insight, it's the most authoritative sports almanac you can buy. ESPN's 2002 Sports Almanac makes a great holiday gift. In bookstores now.
Back at the Cox Arena, Nebraska led 29-25, lost 31-29, serving a big key in game 1.
Ashley Ivy, unbelievable 6 consecutive jump serves to keep her team alive, and what Nebraska needs to do is limit number 15's touches. They want to get Logan Tom out of the game. Not only limit her attacks, but don't serve her, don't hit at her, don't let her get in a groove.
You know, Brian Gimolaro, the Long Beach State coach, says, one thing I don't like about rally scoring is you can never come back. You never have those great comebacks. We just saw 6 in a row in rally scoring at game point, so you can come back.
Absolutely stunning, and Stanford hanging tough with Nebraska, blocking 3 to Nebraska's 4. The difference, points at crunch time. Once they got to 29, Stanford just elevated their level of play.
I tell you, both teams went on scoring runs, big scoring runs, and Nebraska had chances to put away game point. There's a nice block by Holmquist and Sapero. What a matchup. Logan Tom, number 15 in maroon, going up against Sapero and Holmquist.
And once again, John Cook getting the rotation matchup he wants. You know, both coaches can fiddle with the rotation. It's a lot like a chess match to figure out who's going to do what. John Duncan, a little bit more predictable, likes to stay with his starting lineup in the same spot.
Here comes Logan on the run. The backslide is not her specialty. Pilikowski reams one down the line. Laura Pilikowski. They say she has the highest vertical ever at Nebraska, 28 inches.
And off to an amazing start. Already 4 kills, 0 errors so far, hitting above 500 for the Huskers.
Sibbertson, this has been a good rotation for Nebraska. Sibbertson's got a tough serve. 2-zip Huskers. Now make it 2-1. Good, Tara Conrad can rip with the best of them. So Stanford gets the ball back.
Look at the vision watching. That's one of the hardest attacks in volleyball because that ball coming right over your shoulder. Very hard to keep it in your line of sight.
Sapero out of the back line. Metcalf. Sapero back to Metcalf. Metcalf hitting a lot of zeros, which means she's not putting the ball down and putting it away. She's keeping it in place. Sapero, quick set. Nice up by Lewis. Well, that should have been a double contact call in the set. No call. Sapero tries to jam it. Off the net. Little pinball play there. In the back line. Nice shovel pass by Lawrence. And the put away.
Boy, how about Robin Lewis keeping that rally alive? Not one, but 2 amazing digs. And don't forget, she is playing on 2 very tender, sore knees. Both times she winced on the way off the floor to get up and keep the rally alive.
Lewis with the serve. 2-2, game 2. Snapping inside. Logan Tom calls for it. Here she comes. And there it goes. Right over the top. You know, when the block is there, the diggers assume the block is going to cover that area. But if Logan goes over the top, you look at Metcalf's hitting percentage, 143. Tom, not so good either at 125. That first game really could have gone to anybody. As Logan Tom, that's one thing she does as well as anybody.
I would agree, and it's all about the technique. Watch her swing, a big lateral step, and then she swings her body back into the court to clamp down on Kropp.
4-2 Stanford here in game 2. Sapero and Pilikowski. And the passing rotation for Nebraska just not there. John Cook takes a very early timeout.
And Chris, that's something that John Cook told me yesterday. He said, yes, we are the best blocking team in the country, but we are not a pretty-looking team, and we don't pass very well. We have to get better ball handling so we can run the middle.
A reminder, be sure to join ESPN on January 31st at 2 p.m. Eastern for the NCAA Honors Dinner, an annual banquet honoring past and present student athletes. The highest award bestowed by the NCAA, the Theodore Roosevelt Award, will be given to a distinguished citizen of national reputation and outstanding accomplishment who was a varsity letter winner in college. Nebraska volleyball player Nancy Metcalf is one of the top 8 award finalists this year for the outstanding senior student athlete. Nancy Metcalf, of course, the star for the University of Nebraska. A little earlier, we asked her about the Big 8 honor.
Well, I think it's a great honor not only for myself to receive, but also for our institution, just because at the University of Nebraska they really do stress academics and community involvement as much as they do athletics. And so to be able to receive an award like this is a huge honor, just because it shows that all 3 areas are important.
One of the top 8 qualifiers for the top 8 award, and she has had a great year. The tournament hitting just 291. I think, Heather, she's got to get going. She's got to kill the ball for Nebraska, or they have no hope.
Well, the team relies on her so much, and you know, all season long they've prided themselves on diversity, but when push comes to shove, they'll set Nancy Metcalf.
Sapero sets left. And a nice shot by Laura Pilikowski. Pilikowski, we told you her numbers were down this year. Just 285. Last year she had 336. So a number of the Huskers with off years, and tough to come back. They were undefeated last year, 34-0.
A lot of pressure. In fact, I was talking to Terry Pettit, the former Nebraska coach. He said, you know, I think this has been a harder year on John Cook than last year because so many more expectations.
Sapero sets left. And Tom over the top. Chance for Nebraska here. Sapero sets into the middle, and Kropp Crunches it. Of course, longtime coach Terry Pettit, now an announcer, working as a broadcaster. 743 career wins, the 5th winningest coach of all time, and transferring the reins to John Cook, his hand-picked successor.
Yeah, and you know, Terry told me yesterday, he said, thank goodness for John Cook, because he was the only one I felt comfortable with. If he hadn't agreed to take the job and come from Wisconsin, I'd probably still be coaching. He wouldn't be golfing, wouldn't be enjoying. He's still involved in the athletic department, but so comfortable that the reins are now in John Cook's hands.
Well, Nebraska got 2 in a row. Then Stanford got 5 in a row. Now Nebraska has come back and scored 3 in a row. So it really hasn't been seesaw side-out volleyball. One team gets 3 or 4, the other team gets 3 or 4.
And a lot of it has to do with the rotation. Certain point-scoring rotations very strong for each of these squads.
Set to serve is Logan Tom.
Stanford in game 1 struggled when Tom was in the back row.
Good pass there. Around the horn, and the dig is out of bounds. Emily Lawrence, the senior from West Lynn, could not control it, and we're tied at 6. So Nebraska 31-1. 5 times in the last 7 years they've been in the national semifinals. Their only loss September 1st to Long Beach State. Out of that line comes Logan, and she drills it.
Once again, right over the top of the block. Everybody knew it was going to Tom. Nebraska did exactly what it was supposed to do. Got 3 blockers up, but Tom just too strong. 8 kills now for the Olympians.
Set to serve is Tara Conrad. She whacks a hard one. Sapero into the middle. And a beautiful dig by Logan Tom. Crop thought she had a kill. No. Tom again. Wow. Logan Tom called Marshall Dillon because Tom got a Chester right up. Logan.
Unbelievable instincts. Watch her freeze on contact and just get in the way of the ball. And how about the freshman? From senior to freshman, keeping the ball alive.
7-7. Critical game, too, especially for Nebraska. Nebraska led 29-25 in game 1 to 30 and lost it 31-29. Serving is Wishmeyer. Coming around McGee. Nice dig, Sapero. Out of the back line, here comes Pilikowski, and she puts it away. Laura Pilikowski with her 5th kill.
And some great balance by the Huskers. Metcalf and Kropp with 4 kills apiece. Holmquist with 3. Makes it very hard to defend when you don't know who's going to get the ball.
Pretty good pass there. Lewis sets left. Namani is right in her face. Ogana Namani. Wow.
Huge block. Big step to the right by Metcalf. And you see why they're such a good blocking team. Technically so sound, just in tandem.
Let's see if Lewis goes right back to the freshman. She does. Namani's mad. She tips. Sapero flying. Got it over. Lewis goes and gets it. Set left. Namani rejected. Holmquist was there. Metcalf was there. And a timeout to Stanford. So it's been a match of scoring runs. And right now, Nebraska is on one. Game 2, the Huskers lead it 10-7.
Sunday at 3, catch Michael Jordan and the Wizards as they head north of the border to take on the Raptors live from Toronto. It's fast-breaking NBA action. Check it out on CN8.
What did I think of the game? I'll let you know.
It's the Ethel Ford Brian Billick Report. Mondays on BWI Spotlight. Exclusively on Comcast Sportsnet.
Thinking about buying a car?
BaltimoreCarGuide.com.
Then make your first stop BaltimoreCarGuide.com.
All about cars.
Log on and discover the best place to buy or lease in your area. Learn smart shopping tips and find out the latest on maintaining and accessorizing your car. Plus, get specialty information that every car buff will love. Hit the road with BaltimoreCarGuide.com. All about cars.
BaltimoreCarGuide.com. All about cars.
Got a research assignment. 10 pages on a historical innovator.
Well, who'd you pick?
Gotta experience the man, the results of his work.
Who'd you pick?
See, the problem with your basic historical innovator is, well, most of them are historical.
And who'd you pick?
Walt Disney?
Come share the excitement at our year-long celebration of Walt Disney's 100th birthday.
We need to experience Walt's Vision 9 Space Nine.
Again? Make plans at DisneyWorld.com.
It's research.
We're back. Stanford winning game 2. We're winning game 1, I should say. Nebraska leading here in game 2. Reminder, the Amos Alonso Stag Division III National Championship game is coming your way tomorrow. Bridgewater from Virginia against the Mount Union Raiders. The Raiders are the defending champs. They've won 5 titles. They beat St. John's. They advanced to the final. The Eagles beat Rowan on the last play of the game to reach the championship. Their campus is only 100 miles away. We'll have that for you live from Salem, Virginia at 8 p.m. on ESPN2. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, Stanford and Nebraska. We figured it was going to be a slugfest between 2 heavyweights, and it has been. Nebraska pounding away, Stanford hammering away, and it's a point for Stanford. Stanford gets the ball back. And set to serve it is Ashley Ivy. She served the last 6 points of game 1. Well, that's a low toss. She spins it in. Sapero back set. And pretty good block by Sarah McGee. Sapero out of the back line. Here comes Metcalf. Beautiful dig in the backcourt by Ivy. Tipping down the line goes Namani. So Namani, she's learning on the job, Heather. When you get one in the face, that makes you think about what you're going to do.
Great transition game by Namani. I'm impressed with the freshman's composure. She had 2 swings when Nebraska had game point, kept them both in play, brought her team back.
Ivy trying to start a run. Metcalf fires one through. You know, Metcalf doesn't seem to have the high velocity that we're used to seeing from her. I was wondering if she's not hitting quite as hard as she did a couple of years ago. Still hits well, but she doesn't have that sizzling pop that she used to. 11-9 our score. Metcalf jump serve. Lewis goes and gets it. Namani, a little bit of a hop there. Sapero into the middle. Good dig by Ivy. Ivy, a good defensive player. Tom rolls it up. 11-9 our score. With it left side. Nebraska again. Here comes Metcalf, and she hit it out.
Boy, amazing trust that you see in the Stanford players. The chemistry between Robin Lewis and Ashley Ivy, very impressive, knowing that Ivy was going to be there ready to defend.
Metcalf with 5 kills, but she's hitting just 105 so far. 11-10 is our score. Sapero sets left. And the put away. You know, one thing I've noticed about Nebraska, they're not very tricky with what they do. It's a very predictable kind of an offense.
Right, they're all about power, and you can tell the predictability because Stanford really slowing them down, hitting just 19% on the season in the high 3s.
Amber Holmquist thunders it through. Well, both teams have big blocks and good blockers, so that has something to do with the hitting percentages. Namani goes out now, and checking in Michelle Chambers from San Juan Capistrano, where the Swallows come home every year. Part-time starter, 7 aces. And Sandrick shanks one out of bounds. That was a heck of a serve by number 16, Anna Schrod.
And I think that's exactly what Nebraska needs to do so far in this match. Stanford's ball control been very good. Nebraska not taking a big enough risk on the serve. Move him around, go short deep.
Good pass there. Lewis back set. Ball dug up. Sapero. No! Okay, was that Sapero who hit it? Or was that Pilikowski? I think it was Pilla. Pilla was 7.
And absolutely huge. John Cook said yesterday, Laura Pilikowski needs to be the difference in this match. We need to know that we have her as an outlet, especially because we don't have the ball control that we should have to run the middle.
She was the difference in the title match last year against Wisconsin. Nebraska looking to go to 15. Holmquist, no. Got to stay away from Logan Tom. Set it out there. Pilikowski. I think if you're Nebraska, you want to attack Robin Lewis, because with a bad knee, she doesn't get up off the ground that high.
I agree, especially considering the other option is going up against Logan Tom. I think the best blocker in the country.
Timeout on the floor. The Nebraska Huskers leading 15-11. In game 1, Nebraska looked like it was in command, Heather Cox, leading 29-25, but then Stanford came back.
A remarkable turn of events. It all started with Ashley Ivy serving 6 jump serves in a row. Talk about courage. No, she didn't stay in float. She jump serve, and then the freshman, Ogana Namani, coming through in the clutch. A lot of people wondered how the freshman would handle the pressure. So far, I'd say she's come to play. Ogana Namani now 6 kills. She does have 5 errors, hovering right around 0-0-0 for the team, but as long as she doesn't hurt Stanford, I think John Dunning's squad in good shape.
What a crowd here at the Cox Arena on the campus of San Diego State. Volleyball fans out in mass for the national semifinals. What a beautiful venue. The San Diego State basketball team a couple of nights ago coming off a huge win over the 16th ranked Fresno State Bulldogs. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox, and Nebraska, the defending national champions in volleyball, and they're trying to get their star integrated into the offense.
And I think they need to continue to get her swings. You know, I talked to Nancy yesterday about the decision to redshirt, and she said, you know, Nebraska, and I felt very comfortable with it. Christy Johnson, a setter out of Nebraska, did it, then came back and won the title her senior year. She said, I'm hoping to do the exact same thing.
We'll talk about pressure on here on her. We'll talk more about that later. Lewis sets out of the back line. Ivy, and mark that play. Wishmeyer and Metcalf, a husband and wife play at 15-11. Could have been a point. This is a retrievable ball, Heather.
And you'll notice Metcalf playing middle back. Wishmeyer, because she's a backup setter on the right side, I think Wishmeyer needs to step in. She's the ball control defensive specialist. Got to take the ball in the seam.
Sometimes the hubby white play can take its toll on you. We'll see how Nebraska reacts. Straight down. Nice shot by Holmquist. So Nebraska very comfortable going to Holmquist. Holmquist with 5 kills. She's hitting .357. She also has 4 total blocks of solo and some assists. Now, the serving specialist Sibernson is in. She's got 2 aces already.
Very deep floater, goes deep to the service end line.
She sure does. Backing Lawrence up, down the line, Logan Tom. Let's check the numbers for Logan Tom. That's her 10th kill. Her hitting percentage up to .250.
And what Tom is doing is she's moving the ball around. She's going sharp cross court, then she's roll shotting in the middle. That time down the line, very unpredictable attacking.
Robin Lewis serving. Logan in the front line. Sapero into the middle, put away. Now keep in mind, John Dunning, the head coach for Stanford, likes to use his timeouts early. And he is out of timeouts. So no timeouts remaining in this game for John Dunning. He's got to go it alone with substitutions.
Yeah, at this point, you use substitutions to stop momentum. Rule change. It used to be 15 subs. This year, it's 18. That helps the coaches break the pattern.
Good serve by Sapero. And I'll tell you what, when Logan Tom is coming around the horn, one blocker is not going to stop her.
Love the X-play. Watch the movement offensively. Tom on the right side of the court moves into the middle for that high 2. They use a decoy in the first tempo attack. She's that second tempo. Tough to defend. Now 11 kills for Logan Tom.
How about the wing blockers? They got to get in there, Heather. Get in there. That was an X with no one play.
Need to watch those crossing patterns. People need to talk about it. If it goes into somebody else's pattern, they need to pick up on it.
Logan Tom cranking it up. Great pass by Parks. Spearing it up is Lawrence, and Stanford in business. Free ball. Sapero at the net. Sapero sets left, and Pilikowski is roofed. One-on-one by Ashley Ivy.
Conrad stays in the middle with the fake. Watch the middle. Red number 10 stays in the middle with the fake, and then Ashley Ivy compensates. She doesn't feel her middle blocker there, takes a step in, and closes in on it.
Stanford winning all the long rallies as Tom cranks it up. Trouble for Sapero. She keeps it in, and Pilikowski hits it into the bottom of the net.
Well, that was a huge save by Sapero. You see how athletic she is in those type of reactions.
And Logan Tom is starting to cause some damage with her jump serve. She is really ripping it. She gets this one in, it could be an ace. Tom. Perfect pass. Sapero sets left. Boy, couldn't tell who that was to. Good play. She got Metcalf open. Looked like it was to the left front player, but apparently not.
Very deceptive. Only a lefty can hit this 32. It's a high floaty into the middle of the court. Metcalf was receiving it right back. Very deceptive. I don't think Stanford realized she was an attacker.
Neither did I. Pass is straight up. Here comes Namani. Namani rips it. Ogana Namani from Normal, Illinois, at University High School. she was her valedictorian and the student body president, plus a pretty good volleyball player.
Say so. Oguna, actually her name means God's mercy in Igbo, Nigerian language. Parents both of Nigerian descent.
Logan with a dig, Namani. And Logan begging for someone to go get it. 19-17 now. Nebraska, after losing game 1, putting the pressure on here in game 2. Lindsay Wishmeyer will serve it. She's playing in her 100th straight match. 30 aces last year. Toned it down this year. She's only got 12. More a strategic server. Let's see if she goes after him. No. Into the backcourt. And the ball thrown out of bounds. Are you surprised they're not attacking Namani on the serve? I mean, she's available here in left front. Why not serve her?
Well, they tried it in game 1, and it worked for a while, but then it did, you know, sometimes as an outside hitter, the more touches you get, the more in rhythm you get. Logan Tom's a player that likes that, and I think Oguna will become that type of player.
They try to get it in there. Lewis over to Namani. She's blocked. Logan pops it up. Namani again. She's dug up. Nebraska trying to turn a point. Here comes Pilikowski. So Pilikowski, sometimes when you don't hit it so hard, it's hard to do it. 21-17. As Nebraska now enjoying a 4-point lead, and Wishmeyer eyeing Oguna. Looking down the line.
Now going deep. I like that strategy, mixing it up.
Out of the back line, here comes Tom, and Tom hits it over to John Cook. So the serving of both teams. If you're thinking about Long Beach State, Long Beach a little bit steadier than these two teams at the moment. Both teams a little bit erratic.
Yeah, very streaky. John Dunning off the bench, just asking for a pass. 3-person serve receive.
Boy, that's a good serve, and that's an ace. So how about Lindsay Wishmeyer, a junior, and she is cranking it up with her float serve, a standing little floaty that's causing some problems.
She pops it with that contact. If you get that one pop, it gets a lot of float, a lot of movement.
There's another good one. Lewis in trouble. Over to Ivy, and Ivy puts one through.
Well, Ivy's proven to be an outlet player so far in this match. When Stanford's got its backs against the wall, she's come through.
Ivy, one of the Cardinals' best servers, maybe top 2 along with Logan. Ivy, good serve, popped up by Wishmeyer. And now it's Nebraska's turn to go into the tank for like 3 or 4 points.
You know what makes this such a strong serving team? Stanford's got 3 jump servers, but they're scattered throughout the rotation.
Yep.
They don't go back to back, so it changes the tempo. Nebraska receiving a floater, then a deep top. It's been very hard to receive that way.
Good point. Sapero back set. All alone, and there is some juice for Nancy Metcalf.
You remember?
She used to be Nancy Maindring and then got married.
Huge 3-step approach as a lefty. Hard to defend. You just get a different look.
And it's 24-19. So just as the Huskers did in game 1, building up the lead. And Holmquist, the nation's 3rd best blocker, reaches over and stuffs it down.
And Chris, the biggest difference to me between game 1 and game 2 for Stanford is just a breakdown in ball control. Their passing has become suspect. So you're not seeing the offense that you saw in game 1.
Metcalf serving. Metcalf and Wishmeyer. Here comes Namani. And Namani over the top. Chosen as 2nd team All-American this year. Chose Stanford over Penn State. One that got away from Russ Rose. 25-20 now. On the left side, the roof on Schrod. Logan Tom, if you're wondering, is back into the front line. And taking a quick timeout is John Cook. So John Cook is out of timeouts. John Dunning is out of timeouts. In the midst of game 2, Nebraska leading 25-21. Can the Huskers hang on this time? Stay with us. We'll find.
Suffering succotash.
I thought I saw a putty cat. I did.
I'll catch you, Tweety.
Hi, I'm Noel Blanc. My daddy, Mel Blanc, was the voice of nearly all the classic Looney Tunes characters. But my favorites are still Tweety and Sylvester. You never knew what those two were going to do. They even won an Oscar, and they appeared in over 40 cartoons. And now please join me as we introduce to Tweety and Sylvester.
It's Tweety.
Talking
Here we go
animated
again.
talk. This piece of Warner Brothers history is a completely interactive clock. Every hour, Tweety turns up and bops Sylvester, and Sylvester responds as he gives Tweety the hungry eye. You'll get a new show every hour with dozens of different dialogue, expertly engineered to precise detail and standards. Watch as Tweety opens his door with a laugh.
Come on, tease me.
But look out for Sylvester's swinging pendulum tail. The clock features a precision quartz movement with a hidden panel to adjust the time. It even has a light sensor to tell it when it's nighttime. This special edition timepiece will make telling time fun.
Mommy, it's 8 p.m.
Officially licensed by Warner Brothers, the Tweety and Sylvester talking animated clock is not available in stores. It's only available through this special television offer. Call right now, and you can get the amazing Tweety and Sylvester talking animated clock for only $49.99. As a special bonus, when you order, we'll include this remote control free with your clock. Now you don't have to wait to see Tweety and Sylvester in action. That's right, you get the Tweety Sylvester clock and the bonus remote control for only $49.99. So pick up the phone and call now, folks.
To order the Tweety and Sylvester clock for $49.99 plus shipping and handling, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-615-1919 or send a check or money order to the address on your screen. You must be 18 or older to call. Sorry, no CODs.
Time to make that off-season glute development pay off. Butt out, ball in. Buzzy.
Crosstown rivals collide when Steve Logan and the Bearcats battle X-Men David West and Xavier. Cincinnati Xavier tonight at 9 on ESPN.
National semifinals, women's collegiate volleyball at the Cox Arena on the campus of San Diego State University. Glad you're with us. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Heather Cox. A tremendous crowd, and they are seeing one whale of a match. Nebraska thought it had game one, leading 29-25. Stanford scored the last 6 points to win 31-29, but the Huskers, behind great blocking and tremendous serving by Lindsay Wishmeyer and Nancy Metcalf, lead by 4, 25-21. Stanford trying to come back, and they can do it with the great Logan Tom in the front line. See how Nebraska handles it, coming around is Holmquist, and Tom gets the stuff. I tell you, Logan Tom, she can reach her arms over so far, Heather Cox.
Well, it's such a luxury having a blocker like her, because you can see the middle blockers stay in the middle and leave Logan one-on-one.
I'll tell you what, still, I know Holmquist is a great hitter, but still, if Tom is on the left and Lewis is on the right, I'm setting it to the right. I'm pushing it as a setter, I'm pushing it out.
For more reasons than the fact that Tom's such a good blocker, I think you just need to keep the ball away from her, limit her touches, try and neutralize her by taking her out of the game.
Serving is Schrod. Stanford's passing has been erratic, so has Nebraska. Wishmeyer pops it up. Sapero, and blocked is Metcalf.
Boy, Stanford, a team that averages 3.6 blocks per game on the year. So far, they are out-blocking the #1 blocking team in the country. Nebraska's game is all about being physical at the net, and so far, Stanford beating them to it.
Logan Tom has 4 blocks. Serving is Lawrence. Sapero, well, that set didn't go out to the outside, but that's a good move by Kulikowski. Hit in between the blockers, hit inside Conrad, and try to work over Lewis. So now, here comes Amy Sibernson from Omaha, Nebraska. Her service ace sparked a comeback in the NCAA regional semis against Colorado State. Played her first season at Michigan State. Logan Tom tipping. Oh, I think that was out. She tipped it. It appeared the ball was going out, and one of the Huskers touched it. This ball's out.
Yeah, that was definitely on the way out. Nancy Metcalf comes in, and, you know, you need a teammate to be calling that ball out. Because when you're going for it, you have no way of telling whether or not you're on the line.
Pretty good effort there still. If that ball hits the line and she doesn't go for it, then there's trouble there. And Logan Tom has taken charge at the net. And John Cook has to be worried now about his Huskers. They went into the tank in game 1. He's out of timeouts in game 2, and it's 27-25. Sapero out of the back line. Metcalf. Stanford can turn one here. They'll go to Tom. Logan Tom. Sapero blocked her. Logan Tom again. Over the top, and she puts it away.
And that's the court awareness that you heard John Dunn Dunning talk about. She got blocked on the first play. The second play, she made the adjustments, read the block, and read the defense to get the kill.
Switching the serve receive. Metcalf now in the middle. 27-26. Here comes Stanford. Free ball. Into the middle. Another block by Stanford. Conrad was there. Tom was there. Ivy was there. And it's 27 all.
Stanford in the exact rotation they want to be. Robin Lewis serving, three-person attack across the front.
Huskers need a kill. Tip long. Laying it up was Lawrence. Logan Cobb with lethal heat. And the Cardinal is ahead. 15 kills for Logan.
Tom sees that there's no seam in the block, adjusts her approach, and decides to go sharp cross court. There's no block that can stop that type of adjustment.
Nebraska may be out of gas here in game 2. Lewis serving. Who's going to kill one here? Metcalf. Drills it. It's Doug. Lewis. Oh, that could have been a lift, and that ball is out of bounds. Huskers hanging on by their fingernails, Heather Cox, at 28 all. Now, however, Stanford has to pass the ball, so it could be a different story as Gracia Lee Sapero sets the serve.
I think you go deep right corner, go after Lawrence, keep the ball away from Tom. Gave area 2. That's a short serve to the empty area of the court.
Shorty there. They'll set it out to Logan. Why wouldn't you? Tom on the line. Logan Tom, a hitting machine. And now Stanford will have a game point. Stanford and John Dunning looking to go up 2-0. Logan Tom will serve it. She smacks it hard. Good pass. Sapero sets left. Helikowski is Ruth. And Stanford wins game 2, 30-28. 2 unbelievable comeback wins for the Stanford Cardinal. So the Cardinal fans are up, and a discouraged head coach John Cook. His team had leads in both games 1 and 2 and couldn't close. So the Stanford tree is feeling good. The Cardinal lead the match 2-0. More in a minute.
The promotion, a new title, a bigger paycheck, better days ahead. Your hard work paid off, and so did that extra confidence from getting rid of your gray hair with Just for Men hair color. Its vitamin formula rejuvenates your hair and energizes you with a natural look in 5 easy minutes. When you feel confident, it shows. Just for Men, the Rejuvenator.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at BowflexDirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
My father was a sports broadcaster, so I spent many Saturdays thinking about what an experience it might be having an opportunity one day to maybe run out a tunnel. I was 19 years old and I had that opportunity. There were 100,000 people in the stands. And as we came through that tunnel, it started to pack up in front of me, and pretty soon it got kind of congested. You couldn't really understand why things weren't just sprinting out onto the field. It's our head coach, Pepper Rogers, doing somersaults right in the middle of the grass. He liked to say that's when he knew his team was ready.
We're back at Cox Arena, where the Stanford Cardinal leads the Nebraska Huskers, the defending national champions, 2-0. The Diggin' It highlight video is available. If you haven't seen it, it is a must. 20th anniversary highlight video of NCAA women's volleyball. We cover it all. To order it, you can call 888-388-9748 or log on to NCAAchampionships.com. Take you inside the huddle, talk to the coaches, talk to the players, see all the great matches. Texas, Long Beach State, UCLA, Hawaii, Nebraska, Stanford, all the great teams, all the great players. Digging It, the 20th anniversary highlight video. Now, don't forget, the NCAA Women's Championship, the final will be live on ESPN2 at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. Long Beach State is in, and the winner of Stanford, Nebraska, live volleyball coming up for you. All right, we're coming back. Can Nebraska come back? The Huskers are under a withering assault by superstar Logan Tom and company. Stay with us. More in a minute.
Wow. MP3 player, digital camera, DVD player. Very nice. Looks like somebody's kids are going to be very happy this holiday. Kids! I'll be right.
We know how you feel, and that's why Circuit City has great gift ideas this holiday season. Circuit City, we're with you.
Hey, my wife loves these things. All wives love things. Could you...
If you want great body to last, you need the right physique. Not that kind of physique. Physique's 20-hour volumizing collection of shampoo, conditioner, and styling products. With Physique, get 20 hours of unstoppable volume and body. Yeah, that kind of body. Physique's 20-hour volumizing collection. Give your hair the physique it needs.
Dag, yo, it's the Amped Guide to Freestyle Snowboarding. Know your mountain, downhill area, freestyle areas. Let's ride! This is about freedom and cool tricks, and doing those cool tricks when the media's around. Just bend, jump, grab, rotate, and land. Then contact an orthopedic surgeon, and you're ready to go. Amped style isn't everything. Just kidding. Rated E for everyone.
Want to play better golf? Learn from the game's top pros and teachers when you subscribe to Golf Magazine. Call now to get more distance. Straighten your slice, sharpen your short game, perfect your putt, and more. No matter what your level, you'll enjoy the game more because you'll play better with Golf Magazine. For today's kind of golfer, you'll get full coverage of the pro game, great new courses you can play on, exclusive deals, and more. Call now to save 67% and get this Golf Magazine gear bag free with paid subscription. Call now.
Welcome back to the Cox Arena on the campus of San Diego State. Stanford with a commanding 2-0 lead on the defending national champions, the Nebraska Huskers. Chris Marlowe and Heather Cox. Nebraska had a chance to win both games, and John Cook probably thinking we should be up 2-0, but in the end, when it gets to the bottom line, they couldn't stop Logan Tom.
Feeling so much pressure, I think, Nebraska to defend that title, and no, they could not stop Logan Tom. She simply took over, but I think the big key is Nebraska's block. It's just been ineffective. Stanford has 10 team blocks, Nebraska just 7. Nebraska wins games with this defense at the net, and we haven't seen that so far, especially because of the performance from Logan Tom.
There have been spectacular highlights in the first 2 games, and number 15 providing a lot of them.
16 kills for Logan Tom, hitting .333. Started off a little bit slow, but then simply took over. They've gone to her time and time again, not only with the attack, but defensively with the block, and there with the jump serve. And Stanford just playing with absolutely nothing to lose. Incredible comebacks in the first 2 games.
Stanford down 29-24, 131-29. Game 2, Stanford down 25-19. They come back on an 11-3 scoring run. Team-wise, well, Stanford winning the war at the net, Heather.
Yeah, you look at how strong they're hitting at .256 as a team. Nebraska's defense on the season holds their opponents to just 102. They've got to play better defense in this 3rd game. Surprisingly, Nebraska's serving better, but Stanford right now way too strong and too many weapons across the net.
In national semifinal action in history, no team has rallied from 0-2 down to win. It's happened in the national championship match. It's happened a couple times there. But in national semifinals, no team has ever rallied. But these are the Nebraska Cornhuskers, the defending national champs, a very proud bunch, and they have to think we should be up 2-0. At least it should be a split. They should have won game 1. Game 2 got away, and you have to credit Stanford with some beautiful play.
And now you have to question the mental aspect of it. How tough is Nebraska knowing that they should be in this one at least one apiece, and they've got a much bigger hill to climb than they thought.
Well, they went 5 hard games with Florida, so maybe that toughened them up. They were way down in that one. Poked up, Sapero pops it over. Just the start of game 3. Sapero sets left. Oh, what a beautiful up behind the block. Michelle Chambers, Nebraska gets the point, but Michelle Chambers made a beautiful play.
And actually,
check that, excuse me.
Holmquist went up to block, should have been an instant Husker point, but instead the timing off went in between Amber Holmquist and the net. Interestingly, Stanford has changed their rotation 1 spot, so Logan Tom matching up with Sapero in 2 of the 3 rotations, not all 3 like we saw earlier.
Robin Lewis sets left. And pounding it through is Pilakowski. All the Nebraska hitters hitting in the 100s with the exception of Amber Holmquist. Pilakowski 217. Some anemic hitting averages. That means you got to pass a little better so Sapero can set a little better so your hitters can tee off.
Well, and I think John Cook would like to see Nebraska go to the middle a little bit more. He thinks that their middles are quicker.
Sapero gets the block on Logan Tom. Sibrinson once again coming in and setting up the point. That's one thing Sapero does very, very well for a college setter. Get her hands over the net. So Amy Sibrinson once again, the serving specialist. We get past there and the tip shot down. Nice shot by Tara Conrad.
And that's huge. What they did is they noticed that Sibrinson, who plays left back, was serving and serving very deep. So she had a huge sprint to get to her left back position to play defense. Conrad doing an excellent job recognizing that.
Robin Lewis serving, Sapero into the middle, and 2 blockers were there. You know, Robin Lewis, number 31 in red, or maroon if you like, has done a very efficient job of running the offense. Not spectacular, not flashy, good defense, serving effectively, working the shorty there. Here comes Metcalf, she tips. And Logan Tom, it looks like Logan Tom is a one-man wrecking crew, or a one-woman wrecking crew.
You know, Robin Lewis, you talked about her gutsy performance. How about her brother, Chris Lewis, filling in for the injured quarterback, Randy Pisani at Stanford, finishing 9-2, the Stanford Cardinal, an amazing season.
Talented family. Putting the ball away was Jenny Kropp from Grand Island, Nebraska. She could look at Robin Lewis.
And she said it's been a very fun season, especially for her parents. She said, yeah, it's been a little stressful for me and Chris, but boy, my parents have enjoyed it.
There you go. 4-3. Sapero serving. Blocking it is Ivy. Set high outside and cranking it cross-court, Laura Pilakowski. So Pilakowski gets her 11th kill to lead all Husker scorers.
Laura Pilakowski, who used to be a middle blocker, switched 2 years ago to the outside hitter position, showing her versatility. Great cut shot. You see the wrist turn in at the last minute to get that angle.
Sapero once again. And Lewis shoots it left. Tom, did she get the wipe? Did she get the touch? No, they call a net on Tom. Tom tried to wipe it off outside and caught the net. So Nebraska going up by 1. Game 3, Nebraska trying to rally and come back. Stanford has lost a few game 3s after being up 2-0, but never 2 games down. And anybody come back on the Cardinal. In tournament history, that's never happened. Pilakowski with the drive. Now Nebraska not dead yet. 12 kills for Pilakowski. And Sapero in a good rotation here. Cardinal having some trouble. See where Sapero goes. She drop in a shorty here. Yeah. Lewis back set. And Logan Tom got the touch. 5-0 run stopped on that play. And Namani checks back into the front line. So Namani in the front left. Logan Tom set to crank up maybe the most powerful jump serve in college volleyball. Nice pass. Sapero to Metcalf, and she is tipping. Namani is swinging. Sam Metcalf just looks tentative. She's got 7 kills, 4 errors, hitting 115. She's got to take a rip.
Not at all intimidated by the All-American, going one-on-one against Metcalf pretty much throughout this entire match.
Is the set too high for Metcalf? You think that's why she's not keying on?
I think the timing was off. In fact, she and Gracia Lee talked a little bit after that play. Metcalf likes this quick tempo attack.
Stanford gets another point. So the Cardinal pounding away. Logan Tom and Ashley Ivy have been great serving. Logan coming again. Look out below. Pretty good pass there. Gracia Lee sets left. And Metcalf got the touch. Nancy Metcalf, a 3-time first-team All-American. Regional final, she had 25 kills, 7 aces, and 14 digs against Florida.
How about those 7 aces?
Yeah. Lewis, Namani over the top. So after a shaky start, Oguna Namani has 10 kills. Namani now hitting 208, so she's trying to get her hitting percentage up. And here comes Tara Conrad.
And I think the biggest difference is Stanford's attackers are no longer intimidated by Nebraska's block. They neutralized it in game 1 and are now swinging with authority.
And Ivy hits it off the block out of bounds.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a team all year long just literally rip apart Nebraska's block like I've seen tonight from Stanford.
Well, I think Tom is doing that. I don't think the other players are really ripping it too much. I think the problem
The block is ineffective, though. I mean, Nebraska has not gotten a roof block since game 1.
And there's the put away. I think the problem, Heather, I agree that's part of the problem, but I think the problem is getting their side out, putting the ball away when Nebraska gets the ball. Nebraska's not putting the ball away against the Stanford block, and that has to concern John Cook. His team on the year hits 308, and they are hitting 183. Stanford's not great. They're hitting 265, but that's good enough, especially against Nebraska. Tip shot there. Sapero back set. What a dig in the backcourt. Boy, Metcalf hit that as hard as she could, and Sandrick popped it up. Lewis is there. Namani got it. Oguna Namani.
I mean, there is absolutely no fear factor in Namani when she goes up against the nation's top block. John Dunning talked about it yesterday. She said she may look doe-eyed and like a freshman, but she doesn't play like it. But nobody knew in this forum what she'd do. She's excelled so far.
10-8. Boy, Stanford's defense starting to get some points. Namani down the line. Ball popped up. Wishmeyer will keep it in. McGee on the slide. Here comes Namani, and she gets the touch. If Namani is 6'1", what is she on a unraveling hair day, do you think? About 7 feet. She's a 7-footer if you put all that hair straight up. Oguna Namani.
Sapero hairdo.
There you go. Stanford getting on a roll now. And once again, the Nebraska offense going quiet. They're just unable to terminate. Stanford block has been good, like you say, and the Stanford defense has been great.
Well, in that last play, Nebraska got the ball control to run a very fluid, up-tempo offense, the type of set that Nancy Metcalf likes.
Metcalf, and she whacks it home. 12-9 Stanford. Cardinal up 2 games to none. Chris Marlowe, Heather Cox. And here is the sensational freshman, Oguna Namani. And the put away. Amber Holmquist.
Very capable of putting up huge numbers this season. Has had 7 matches where she hit over 600. Right now, right at 300 with 7 kills.
12-10 is our score. And a serve into the net.
And that's just a cardinal error. Back-to-back service errors, especially in a match of such magnitude. As a player, you grow up knowing you can't miss a serve after a timeout. You can't miss a serve when your opponent has match point. And you can never miss a serve when your teammate in front of you misses.
Emily Lawrence to put the ball. That was Heather Cox, folks, with your serving diet. Out of the back line, here comes Metcalf. Nice dig up by Ivy. And Logan Tom is pounding it through. She's hitting inside the block. That's really up to the middle blocker to close that off.
Well, the outside blocker needs to take a step in. Then the middle blocker needs to close to the outside. It's really the outside that's setting where they line up. I think you take a step in and force Logan to hit down the line. It's a tougher shot to go down the line than it is to cross court.
Aline,
less court.
Excuse me, Heather. Aline Rebholz is in, the freshman from Indianapolis. Sapero out of the back line. Boy, they're going to Metcalf a lot. She responds there. And now Nebraska, 3 substitutions. Metcalf with 11 kills, 14-11 here in game 3. The defending national championship, the national champions up against it. And here is Amy Sibernson. Lewis back set. And the ball spiked out by Conrad. Maybe the Huskers can make a move. Every time Amy Sibernson comes in, the sophomore from Omaha, good things happen for Nebraska. Question is, can she cover the tip if that comes up again? She's got to get in after the serve.
Left front wide open. That's her error. You see that channel right in front of her that she's got to cover.
There she goes. Here comes Logan Tom. Tom is blocked. Back set. And Conrad hit it out. So Nebraska gets another point. I'll tell you what, you can get points on Nebraska. You can get some points. And Nebraska's getting them. They just can't play steady enough to keep the Cardinal from getting some points. Whip it out to Logan Tom. And she rips another one.
Now, the beauty of this Stanford team is that even if the ball control is a little bit suspect, if you've got players like Tom and Namani on the outside, you can go high outside and still score points.
We have a timeout at the Cox Arena. Stanford leading Nebraska in game 3, 15-13.
Do you need help finding the vehicle that fits your needs? Has your credit report stopped you cold in your tracks from getting the financing you deserve? When you need help, call 1-800-CAR-LOAN and get the right car, the right financing, right now. 1-800-CAR-LOAN. Right here, right now.
Blockbuster had all the new games? Guaranteed to be there, non-believers.
Dude, what's the Ottoman?
Ottoman? Gentlemen, today's training is all about guarantees. See, Blockbuster has more copies than ever before. That way they can guarantee games like WWF SmackDown, Tony Hawk 3. When'd you get a cat? And Metal Gear Solid 2, all guaranteed to be there. It really tastes of cheese. Games guaranteed. Blockbuster. Are you game enough?
Like a lot of organizations, ESPN was having trouble with their carpet. So they had me install a more natural surface. This grass we install is the best. It's a good Bermuda.
No hot water on that, okay? Yeah, that'll set the stain.
It lays down very, very pretty.
Still to come on SportsCenter the rest of the night in the NBA.
Wherever you are, I mean, there's nothing more beautiful than grass.
What if an internet provider asked you to draw from your imagination to envision taking your internet experience from everyday to extraordinary? You'd create AT&T WorldNet Service Plus. First, you'd start with the fastest logons and better connections. Then you'd add the latest features, like instant messaging and chat. Not to mention a cutting-edge feature like video email, so people can see and hear you every time you send a message. Get it all from the provider-rated Best ISP by PC World. Call now for AT&T WorldNet Service Plus at just $16.95 a month. That's nearly 30% less than AOL. So call 1-800-WorldNet today and switch to AT&T WorldNet Service Plus. It's drawing lots of attention. Sign up for AT&T WorldNet Service Plus before December 15th for your chance to win a trip to see the Rose Bowl.
Long Beach State is in the national championship match. The only question now, and Logan Tom lead her Stanford team into the national championship final. She has done everything today, hasn't she, Heather?
Well, and what I love about her game is she just continues to get better and better as the match progresses and as more is on the line. Logan started a little bit slow, but she's fine-tuned and fixed those mistakes. And when you look at that line,
wow,
you just see the type of impact player she is. John Dunning said it, she's the most complete player he has ever coached.
So Nebraska, their star, or stars, Nancy Metcalf and Gracia Lee Sapero. 15-13. Stanford leads. Boy, they're riding Metcalf a lot. Another great dig in the backcourt by Emily Lawrence. Sapero tries to jam. Brought up. Lewis, boy, that's a low set. They jam at the net, and Holmquist wins it. Is that Holmquist? No, that's Jenny Kropp. Jenny Kropp, John Cook had an interesting statement. He told me once, she is the best blocker, man or woman, that I've ever coached.
He, of course, was the assistant with the men's national
He coached
team.
me. He coached me at one time.
That's not saying a whole lot.
Well, that's why I think he
so
said
proud.
it. There you go. Gee, Heather. 15-14. Lewis. And Logan seems to like that low shoot set. They use that a lot internationally. The setter for the USA team, Robin Amo, knows that she can set Logan Tom that low hut set to the left side.
The hope, of course, is just to beat the block to the ball.
Absolutely.
Never want to run right at your blocker, want to run at the gap.
Here comes Logan Tom, jump serve. She is just hammering that thing. Sapero sets left, down the line. Great shot by Nancy Metcalf.
That's huge, and that's a tough shot as a lefty. The ball traveling across your body. Timing has to be just right, but look at the window that Ivy gives her. She's got about 2 feet of line. You see the way she moves her body to make that shot an option.
Metcalf has come alive a little bit. She's got 12 kills. And double contact. Stanford will get another point. Stanford, their 4 NCAA titles, 92. That was the first one with the great Bev Oden leading the way. The upset of the great UCLA team, 94, 96, and 97. All of those under previous coach Don Shaw. John Dunning taking over for Don Shaw, and of course the great Kim Oden, the player of the decade on the Stanford bench charting. They have an excellent coaching staff, don't they, Heather?
Oh, I think the best in the country. Not only do they have Kim Oden, a 2-time National Player of the Year, but also Denise Corlett, considered to be the best assistant coach in the nation.
There is Denise Corlett, the former UCLA star, the interim head coach last year. Don Shaw, if you're wondering, is now coaching the Stanford men. He figures they have a good team this year, and now set to serve Ashley Ivy. Cardinal with another dig. Cardinal by 2. Nice dig by Sapero. Metcalf teeing off now, hitting hard. Metcalf, and she's rejected. Ogana Namani.
Look it out, one-on-one, senior against freshman. I mean, that is amazing. That is the passing of the torch right there. You're going to see Namani's name for a long time to come. Nancy Maindering Metcalf just stuck blindside. That ball got behind her. She didn't see Namani's block.
Ashley Ivy with 15 service points in this match. Holmquist hit it out.
And Chris, you know what the difference is? Nebraska is not a first strike offense team tonight. They are a team that thrives on a kill off the first touch, but Stanford's defense and transition game just so strong that they're outdoing Nebraska.
The defending national champs are in trouble here in San Diego.
I've been listening to my story about a man named Jed. Where a mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then
it's the high, lonesome sound of America.
Wish that I
was on old Rocky Top down in the Tennessee hills. Ain't no small
Time Life Music proudly presents the Treasury of Bluegrass.
blue moon of Kentucky, keep on shining.
Bill Monroe,
Shine on the one that's gone and fruit and tree.
Ralph Stanley,
Over yonder stands little Maggie, where the dram glass sings.
Flat and Scruggs. Get the Time Life Treasury of Bluegrass on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes.
Oh, they call it that old mountain dance, and them that refuse it of you.
You'll get 30 classic performances. From legendary performers to today's stars, this is the one bluegrass collection to own.
That ain't even about sundown, on the hill and above the town.
Ricky Skaggs,
Good Lord, how it rang, you could hear it talk, you could hear it
Alison Krauss,
Two highways lay before me. Which one will I choose? Down one lane at
but this special collection is not sold in stores, so please call now.
To order Treasury of Bluegrass, use your credit card and call 1-800-419-6655 or send $24.99 for 2 CDs or 2 cassettes, plus $4.99 shipping and handling to Treasury of Bluegrass, Department 1, Richmond, Virginia 23280, or order online at timelife.com.
Here's a gift everyone will want to open. The compact Rosario 1700T notebook with a laser-sharp screen, hot swappable drives, and a powerful Intel Pentium 3 processor, all tucked in one neat little package, which will be shipped free, courtesy of a couple of reindeer we know. It's just $12.49. So give us a jingle at 1-888-269-4609 to buy now and receive a $50 instant rebate plus free shipping. Hurry while there's still room on the sleigh.
Back in the Cox Arena, Stanford closing in on a semifinal win. New coach John Dunning very committed to the seniors on this Cardinal squad. Listen.
My goal is to do as much as I could to make it so that the seniors had a chance to have their last year be good. That just because I came in late, that we didn't throw this year away. That we just didn't try to do the best we could.
And that's exactly what he's done. He told me yesterday, he said, I just don't want to get in their way. They have so much confidence and so much momentum. He said, you know, I get stressed out. I asked my assistant coaches to let me know when I was stressing this team out. I'm just going to sit back and let the seniors lead this team.
I'll tell you what, Logan Tom is the best player in this match, but if you had to give a semi-MVP, how about number 13,
sure.
Ashley Ivy?
Unbelievable. How about game 1 alone deserves semi-MVP?
6 serves, Heather.
In a row.
6 serves in a row.
Get back.
Come all the way back. You go, girl. 21-16. I tell you what, Nebraska needs a miracle now. They really have to turn it on. They've got to kill the ball. They've got to block the ball. Sapero over to Metcalf, and she's blocked.
You know, John Cook is the one that wanted this matchup. He wanted Nancy Metcalf on the freshman, Ogana Namani. And yes, this is a trap set. This is a tight set. No, Nancy's not right-handed, but Namani has had her number all night.
Logan Thomas. She will be the star of the USA Women's Olympic team in 2004. And a timeout. The Cardinal on a 6-0 run. The Stanford squad now leading by 7.
Watch the save by the freshman. Everybody thought she was going to attack it, but instead goes back court. I mean, that's a roll shot that most people would have just tried to get into the court. But watch the way Logan uses her wrist. Great cut shot, still gets the power. Not only that, gets the kill. Logan Tom now 22 kills, hitting 29% for the Cardinals.
You see Ogana Namani, you know her, but do you know who Namani Tatanka is?
Do tell me.
Namani Tatanka. You don't know? Dances with Wolves.
You're all over it.
Kevin Costner. That's a good trivia.
Gotta love that.
Just remember that. NCAA Men's College Cup National Semifinals. You can see that tomorrow if you're a soccer fan, 11 a.m. Eastern, ESPN 2. That's from Columbus, Ohio. Doubleheader action. Carolina and Stanford. St. John's, Indiana. Some of the best soccer you can see. Indiana, the 5-time national champion. That's tomorrow on ESPN2. Chris Marlowe with Heather Cox. And Gunna Namani, 241, 12 kills, but she started off really bad. And she has come alive. You know, you don't expect freshmen to carry the team, but she has been good enough. 23-16, Stanford. Can they sweep the defending national champion Nebraska Huskers? And a serve receipt error for Anna Schraub.
How about Ashley Ivy? And it's the things that don't show up in the stat page, the intangibles. Every time she makes contact with the ball, she's bettering the ball.
Another ace for Ivy. When Nebraska looks back on this match, they're going to look to game one. Up 29-25, Ivy goes back to serve, and that's where this match went out the window.
Not only is she getting velocity on the top spin, but she's also serving seam. She's not serving right at a white jersey. She's making Nebraska move.
Aline Rebholz is in. Ivy cranking it up. Wow, her jump serve is outstanding. And the lift is called. So give the kill to Metcalf. Let's check Metcalf's numbers. 14 kills, 5 errors, hitting .225. As a team, Nebraska hitting just .179. So credit a strong Stanford block and good defense and some trouble hitting.
Foot fault by Metcalf.
Nobody saw it. Logan Tom will play it over. Time for one more Nebraska run, but not with plays like that.
And the bad news for Nebraska fans is that Nancy Metcalf has moved into the back row. I think Gracia Lee needs to try and use her as an offensive weapon. You saw her touch her shoulder. That's the sign for a back row attack. I think they need to go to number 7, even though she's in the back row.
Last year, 34-0. Everything went smoothly for John Cook, becoming just the second team to finish undefeated and win a national championship. This year has been a struggle all the way. And you get an idea about watching Nebraska, what has happened. Last 4 seasons as a head coach for Cook, 125 wins, 65-1 at Nebraska, staring at 65-2. 26-18. What a performance by the Stanford Cardinal so far. And Nebraska clearly frustrated.
You know, it's been interesting. I played at Pacific for John Dunning. He won in 1985 and 86, his first 2 years at Pacific. I've run into about 10 of my former teammates here this week and tonight, and they've all said, can you believe John's going to do it again? It's unbelievable. So many of my teammates, so sad to see him leave Pacific, but knew that he'd just have magic here at Stanford.
Another dig by Stanford. And a Stanford defense. That's going to be a point for Nebraska. Nebraska 31-1. Final 4, 5 times in the last 7 years. Huskers have won 29 straight. All that coming to an end today, it appears. 27-19 our score. Robin Lewis out of the back line. Ivy sails one long. Never know when a rally can start with a play like that. And look at that. John Dunning says, I'm not taking any chances. I'm calling timeout. So Stanford leading 27-20. Let's go back just a moment to 1996. The final play of that matchup, a Cardinal highlight to be sure. First championship point. Amo sets quick. This could be it. They'll go to Kristen Folsom for the championship. No, it's coming back over. Wolf for the championship. And that is it. Big Daddy Don Shaw getting his 3rd championship. What? In the 90s and the early 2000s, Stanford has had quite a record, huh?
Unbelievable. The first title in 92. They've had 4 total titles. And you look at their dominance. 20 of the last 21 season ranked in the final top 10. And it's just been an amazing program. Don Shaw created it. John Dunning hopes to continue it. And, you know, there's something about that S on that jersey that just always gives the Stanford Cardinal a couple of points when they take the floor.
Logan Tom, 22 kills. Namani with 13. They have been the big guns. Conrad was 6. Ivy was 6. And McGee with 4. Team hitting percentage 261 for Stanford, just 190 for Nebraska. So Logan Tom taking a whack at it. It's 27-20. Can Nebraska come back? Maybe. They could use a good play like that. Jenny Kropp gets the kill, and it's 27-21.
If Nebraska's going to come back, they're exactly where they want to be. Sibrinson serving. This is the rotation that they've had several runs in throughout this match.
If you're wondering, John Dunning has 1 timeout left. Into the middle, and the put away for Tara Conrad. Conrad, the team's top blocker. Conrad with her 7th kill. Now Sibrinson is out, Metcalf is back in, and Robin Lewis, senior from Long Beach, California, set to serve. She has played well today. Left side, Pelikowski missed it. And now the Stanford fans are up here in the Cox Arena. The Cardinal will have 8 match points. John Dunning looking to head back to the national championship final. This could be it. They'll set Brick. Conrad got it. And Stanford is going to the national championship final. The Cardinal will face off with Long Beach State.
Absolutely dominating performance by a very deep, versatile team. So much to be said for Stanford's strength of schedule. The Pac-10 by far the strongest conference in the nation this year, and I think that experience certainly was a major factor in the performance that we saw in such a high-impact, pressure-filled match.
Stanford's record now 32-2. Nebraska finishes season at 31-2. So the Stanford Cardinal moving on, and the Lefty mascot is feeling good. Stanford and Long Beach in our final. The Cardinal winning 3-0. We'll come back. We'll have more for you right after this.
Folks ask me, George, how do you stay in such shape? Well, I'm into physical things now, like snowboarding. On the new Xbox from CompUSA. The graphics are so real. It feels like you're part of the action. Woo! Yeah, baby! Yeah. Street.
Back at Reunion Arena, game 1, going to the USC women of Troy. They showed why they were the #1 team in America early, getting off to some big leads, 5-1, 13-5, and 19-11. But Minnesota would come back behind their star, Cassie Bussey, and score 12 out of 15 points. USC brought back in Tony Anderson. They set April Ross, and USC hangs on to win game 1. 30-27, but certainly some anxious moments.
And don't be surprised to see Mick Haley go with that 5-1 lineup for the rest of the night. Statistically, USC with some great jump serving. Offensively, the Minnesota Gophers 5 kills better than USC. I think the difference was